All right, so I think everybody can hear me nice and live. I think this is nice and live and clear. This is welcome to the Virtual View channel. This is a channel that was created just to talk about, the latest events and mainly reality TV and what my opinion is and what I think um, reality TV has got to offer society. So anyway, so today is the very first show that I'm doing, and I decided to start the show when Love and Hip Hop New York started with Remy Ma and Papoose. I decided to start the show with that. Again, because I don't watch much TV, but if I do, it has to be something that is catches my eye. Something that really fluffs my feathers to make me really want to sit down and focus and watch a show. Because again, a lot of things are going on. I have a lot of things that I'm doing basically throughout the day, and even at night. So it's kind of hard for me to really sit down and sit there for hours on ends, or even sometimes even 20 minutes. It's really hard, very difficult for me to sit down again because I have a lot of things that I'm doing. So for me to sit down and be stable and be attentive and really be in tuned into a show, it has to be something um, that's really that's really got it going on for me to sit down and talk about. So anyway, I just wanted to get that out of the way. Again, this is a live broadcast, so I'm sorry if things are not very clear, edited. Hopefully this will come out clear. I did a test earlier, so hopefully that came out clear, so this one should be fine. So I want to talk about Love and Hip Hop New York, okay? And I want to talk about what I feel was good about it, what I feel, just my basic opinion. So, if you disagree, that's fine. You have your own opinion. I have my own opinion. We're all different people, so I don't expect, people to agree with everything I'm saying again because it is my opinion. But I'm going to talk about Love and Hip Hop New York. One of the things that I noticed, and I sat down with a few family and friends last night as we watched the introduction of Love and Hip Hop New York, I will say that it appears that they have stepped up their production. I'm not sure if maybe my TV um, was connected well last night, but I would say that the high definition was on point. The graphics was on point. The whole introduction, it just, to me, it just seems like whoever is working on the back side of things, it seems like they stepped up their game, and I saw a great improvement as far as introduction. Okay. Um, Another thing that I liked about the introduction was Remy Ma, the way she came out yesterday, and the way she came out on stage and she presented herself, and then she also incorporated the fact of the incidences that she had to experience during the time that she was away. I like the way she just simplified that and made sure that she did address that, and then also came out with the introduction. So I was really happy to see that. Actually surprised the way the things were introduced. So let's talk about some things. So hmm. And I've said this before to a friend of mine when I saw the introduction. One of the things that kind of like frazzled me when I first saw Remy Ma and Pap was Rah Ali. And I later heard that she and Rah Ali had fell out during the production. I don't even know if that's true because when you check Rah Ali's Instagram or her social media connect, it appears that she's still kind of friends with Remy. So I don't know if that is maybe a trick to get the audience to pay more attention and to get people to in tune more. I don't really know because they have a lot of tricks and games and scenarios from behind the scenes, which we'll get into that as we continue to talk. But one of the things that I noticed, um, when Pap, when he came, and before Pap came, when Remy and Rah Ali was sitting on the couch, one of the very first things I noticed was when Rah Ali, I don't know if it was one of the first things that she said, but she asked Remy, she said, "Where's Pap?" And I guess that's when Remy said, he's around here somewhere. So that was one red flag that stood up to me. Second red flag was when Pap did come. If you look at Rah Ali, it was like her eyes, her whole body, everything just lit up like a Christmas tree. And to me, that was a red flag. She lit up like a Christmas tree, and then she stood up and then she gave him a hug. Which, okay, let's take all the sinistry out of it. There's nothing wrong with it. People do that every day. But for some reason, the vibe just didn't seem right with that. It wasn't connecting right to me. Maybe I'm reading into it a little bit too much, but that's just what I saw. Okay. So to me, again, that's a red flag. But as we will watch the shows, as we will go more, we'll see what happens. Well, we'll see if what I'm seeing is just overrated. Okay, so that was one of the things that I noticed. Okay, so let's go on to the show. So Rah Ali, surprisingly enough, she wants to become a manager now. Where's all of this coming from? I thought that she was doing Encore. I thought she was doing the shoes. Now she wants to be a manager. And that brings me back to the time when she was friends with Tahiri. When she was friends with Tahiri, and Tahiri was doing, I think it was Ustream. Tahiri was doing Ustream, and she was doing her little videos with her and Joe. And I don't know if she still does it now because I don't tune into it. Again, but I know that was something that she was doing, and what a flag that drew up to me then was when I saw that Tahiri was doing the Ustream, and then all of a sudden, Rah Ali wanted to do a Ustream. So I thought that was kind of strange. And it seems like every time Rah Ali gets around someone who's doing something, she wants to do it too. Same thing with Evelyn. She was friends with Evelyn. I don't know if you remember that time. And then all of a sudden she started doing shoes, which I thought her shoes was pretty nice. And I hope that she's still doing, still making her shoes. I was even thinking about buying a pair, sometime down the line, but haven't really heard of that anymore. I don't know if she's advertising or what's going on, but this is just things that I've noticed. Evelyn was doing shoes, so she wants to do shoes. Tahiri, she was doing Ustream. All of a sudden, Riley started doing Ustream. And then she's around Yandy and other people who are managers, and now all of a sudden she wants to be a manager of groups. So I don't know if she really wants to do this or if this is a competition thing. And the reason why I'm bringing this up, because if it is a competition thing, what I saw Rah Ali asking about Pap and her eyes lighting up like a Christmas tree, hopefully I'm wrong, but as we see down the season, maybe this is a pattern with Rah Ali. You know what I'm saying? Maybe she wants to do what other people are doing and wants to be better at it. Okay. Secondly, Rah Ali, I thought she was getting married. Whatever happened to the wedding? Where is her man at? Maybe her man is the kind of man who doesn't want to be in the limelight, which not everybody wants to be, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I hope that she's married. For Remy and her sake, because let's talk about Pap now. Pap, he seems like he's that man that every woman wants. I mean, let's face it, he held the girl down for 6.5 years. Not only did he hold her down, but he was going up there, as far as I know, almost every week or every weekend, or at least 3 or 4 times a month. Man, that was good. You can't even find mothers, sisters, girlfriends who would do what he did. So that was good. Um, okay, and the fact that he took care of her son, that's another plus. Another plus is the fact that he married her. Not only did he marry her, but he married her over the phone. I mean, all these things that you don't find common in the average black man. Let me say that. I don't know too many about other races, but I know dealing with a lot of black men, you wouldn't find a lot of black men doing what he did. So, kudos to Pat. But with that being said, from what I've heard from Remy Ma on Hot 97, I think it was 105, one of those shows. I think it was Hot 97 when she did the interview, and she was saying that every time somebody gives kudos to Pat, he gets gassed. So I'm not saying this because I want to, put more gas in his tank, because I'm sure he got a lot of gas that's being pumped into his tank. But, just the fact that he did it off the strength, I really appreciate that. And I appreciate the fact that he was able to display, and, things like that wasn't hidden. And we was able to see and hear that, there are still men out there who are black, and who is willing to get married, who is willing to be committed, and to be righteous, and to pretty much hold their wives down in times of trials and tribulations. So again, if I'm putting more gas into his tank, and if Remy Ma's listening to this, and again, that's getting under her skin, I do apologize. But it's not about the fact that I don't think society is like trying to gas up Pat. I think it's the fact that society, for those who recognize what he's done, is the fact that you don't hear about that very much. That's not being glorified in the media. You're not hearing about those stories in close proximity. You don't really hear about those stories from your friends and your family members, or just people off the strength. You don't really hear. That's not really a common story. And stories like that usually doesn't get any light. So it's like when Barack Obama became the president. It wasn't the fact that he was the president. It was the fact that it was that image that was broken, and it touched people in many different ways. It was the hope, it was the belief, um you know it was the idea that something like that can happen, and it is possible. So that's where I'm going, as far as like Papoose holding his wife down. That's exactly where I'm going. Okay. So let's get that over with. So again, if I'm putting gas in his tank, it's not something I'm intentionally doing. It's just a fact that we definitely need to see more people like that. And I'm sure Pap is not the only man on the planet who has done that, or who's probably currently doing that, or will do that in the future. I'm sure there's a lot of good black men out there who does stuff like that, and they need to be celebrated. We need to see more of that. And with that being said, let's talk about Peter Gunz. Okay, Peter Gunz, very disappointed in that man. Very, very disappointed. And I'm disappointed because, I really liked his music. Even before the show came out, I remember I was playing his song, um, Uptown Baby. That song, I was really celebrating it. I was really into it. I loved it. I still like it. If I still hear it, I probably still move and groove to it, and feel good about the song. But the man that I'm seeing on the show is totally not the man that I visioned who was rapping on that song. I have no idea what's going on with Peter Gunz. I think we're gonna have to do a whole nother broadcast on that alone, because I am more than disgusted. As far as I know, I think they said Peter Gunz has like 9 children. Are you serious? Okay, there's nothing wrong with having 9 children. You can have as many children as you want. But from what I see, the only children that he appears to be involved with fearlessly is the 2 boys with Tara and the his new daughter with Amina. If you have 9 children, let's subtract 3. What about the other 6 children? Are you involved in their lives? Are you giving them attention? Do they see their father? Are you running wild, going to this house, that house, doing all of this, stressing yourself out for those other children? Or are they getting neglected because you're no longer in love? You're no longer feeling erected over their mothers. What's going on here? You know what I'm saying? And I don't like that. And this is why so many children grow up bitter. So many children grow up upset, angry. And that anger gets redirected in other forms that almost destroys them as a human. And as they grow up in society, they find themselves in trouble because of the neglect that came from maybe one of their parents or the conditions that they was placed in, because the father was no longer, again, feeling erect over the mother, feeling in love over the mother. There was nothing that he wanted from the mother again. So not only did the mother get abandoned, or not only did their relationship break up, but the relationship between that child and that father is now broken. That child is now abandoned, and he's now moving on to someone else, starting a new chapter. And all that love and that energy is redirected to that person or to that child. And I didn't like that. I really didn't like that. I see these 2 women crying and fighting and scratching each other's eyes out for their children, for their love, for their attention. But what about the children that he created before you women came into the picture? And what the hell is going on with Amina and Tara living in the same building? What the hell is this? Polygamy? I mean, you might as well just be a polygamist, because both of them are like they pretty much said yes to this, but in other ways. And to me, what I see is the women are fighting for his attention and his time. And it's like they almost don't want to break out of this pattern, because it's like they almost want to see who's going to be the one to conquer and be the one to finally seal the deal and keep him in her quarters. That's what I'm seeing. And I don't know if nobody else is seeing this, but this is what I'm seeing. And it's really disturbing, because both of these women are beautiful. Both of them, well, Tara seems like she's an intelligent person. Amina seems intelligent and she has talent. So it's not like they really have to be with him. I mean, to be honest with you, if they can strengthen their heart and be able to actually sit down and see the value within themselves, they may be able to actually go out there and solidify a solid relationship that's going to give them what they need. If you're giving love, you need love. You don't need to share this shit. And it's not like it's being shared with somebody like, like somebody with a higher official, somebody with some great authority. From what I'm seeing here, it doesn't look like Peter Gunz has too much going on for himself. If he, in a couple of episodes, if he's packing his bag and putting his clothes in a garbage bag, that doesn't seem like somebody who's stable. Okay? But I'm not going to get too hard on these women, because as a woman myself and many women listening to this broadcast, you and I know when you're in love with a man and you know that the man is not good for you, and even though you have plenty of people around you giving you counsel after counsel, telling you that you could do better than this and you don't deserve this and you can move on, you can do this. No matter what anybody says, it doesn't feel, your heart doesn't feel that way. So again, I'm not blaming these women because I know the dilemma that they're in. I know what they're facing, but come on already. If you're in a polygamy relationship, just declare it and stop running game on society. And Tara, don't run around trying to make people feel sorry for you because you're playing this game now. And as far as you even said that you took Peter from somebody else. So somebody took Peter from you. And it's just a freaking merry-go-round. This one takes him, this one takes him, that one takes him, and he's stuck in the middle having the fun of his life. He's like one of those statues on the merry-go-round. He's just there, and people just take their turns just sitting on top of the erect statue, just going around and around in circles. And the only person who's having the enjoyment out of it all is him. You know what? I think I'm going to have to end this broadcast because I have a couple of things that I have to do. And I really do want to go deeper into what I've seen last night. I would say that it was a great start. It was a great production. I really, really enjoyed it. I cannot wait to see the next episode. I really can't. I would like to see the unfolding events all the way up until the end. But let me also address Yandy really quickly. Yandy, we all know that you're a professional. We all know that you're up on your game. But why in the world are you hanging out with Rich so closely? Trust me, I wasn't even the one who peeped that out last night. Actually, when I'm sitting down, with my peoples yesterday, they're the ones who actually peeped that out. And they was like, wait a minute, hold up. We all know that Rich gets around like tickets. And we all know his reputation. He knows his reputation, okay? Why in the world was Yandy sitting so close to Rich last night? I mean, this woman is now married. It's not like she's a single Yandy running around being a manager for, this group, that group. You're a married woman now. There's ways that you can conduct business without acting and being so. I mean, it was like almost, I mean, if you didn't know the situation and somebody was just walking into a room, you would think that Yandy and Rich was in a relationship. Okay, and seeing Yandy with a wedding ring on, she's sitting so closely to Rich, anybody would go and be like, okay, well, that's her husband, because that's how close they were sitting, and that's how, it looked very connected. And I don't know, like, again, I didn't see this. This is, somebody pointed that out to me. And I looked, and it kind of did. I mean, again, if I didn't know the scenario, and if I was just going into a place, where they was having dinner or the entertainment, and I saw them, I would automatically think, okay, that's her husband, this is a couple, and boom, this is what's going on. So I don't know how men of DCs would feel seeing something like that. To me, that was just, it was inappropriate. It really was. But hey, to each his own. Again, this is my opinion. Okay? Let me briefly go over the two young ladies who are supposed to be some type of hip-hop group. I want to say that last night, the talent coming from the ladies was absolutely mind-blowing. And I really appreciated that, because it's time now to see real, raw talent. It's time now to see things that are not modified. Okay? To see things that are not made up. To see something that is real. So I really appreciated all, to me, in my opinion, all the ladies on that stage last night, the two girls in the group, the I don't know if they call her Creamy, the little light skinned girl. I don't know if she's Spanish, white. I don't know what she is. She was good too. And then the other girl, I gotta get the names together. Hopefully in the next production I can. She was also good. If I had to vote and say who was better than the other one right now, I can't really say because the performance, it was so short. It didn't give me enough time to analyze. So right now, I'm just voting for everybody. I think everybody is like, it's like what do you call it? That idol show. Right now, everybody has passed, in my opinion, because everybody showed improved last night. So nobody was better than everybody. Everybody had their own unique way of doing things. And it's kind of hard to pick and say, okay, well, the two girls, they're gonna go over Creamy and the other girl because they're two working together. So two heads are always better than one. And then we don't want to, mainly they probably don't want to pick Creamy or the light skin chick because they don't want to, like be racist or whatever and just single her out because she's light skinned but she has talent. And then the other girl from Harlem, she's good too. It was hard. It was very hard. And again, I just want to say that I was very, very happy to see them performing yesterday. I thought it was lovely. And I really appreciated the raw talent. I can't wait to see more of that. And I appreciate New York for that because New York has a lot of people with some good talent that has yet to be discovered. Okay, so kudos to Yandy for bringing homegirl out from Harlem. Whoever the light skinned chick is, good. Big ups to you. Keep on your endeavors. The two chicks. As far as those two chicks are concerned, Rah Ali, you supposed to be their manager. Well, as a manager, straight up off top, it's your responsibility to make sure that your girls look good. And to be honest with you, last night they didn't really look that good. The outfit, it wasn't really that good. The hairstyles was horrible. I mean, and I know the other chick from Harlem, she was talking about how her weave was cheap. To be honest with you, to be honest, all y'all chicks' weaves was tore down, tore down. Homegirl's weave, I mean, you could see the track, and her edges was kind of like thinned out. The girl from Harlem with the like little baby voice, who's 21, I think she's like 21, 24, something like that. The edges on her side, it was kind of thinned out, and then you can see the track. So her weave wasn't on top either. Then the other girl with the burgundy weave with the shaved on the side, that wasn't cute. They could have did better than that. I understand that she wants to be those people who are on stage and they're performers and they have like this big hair and they have the colors just to be attractive. You could have did better than that. And then makeup. I don't know, for some reason it just looked like they put on their own makeup. And I thought that they had like makeup artists. And I didn't like that. I mean, first impressions, it wasn't a good look. Hopefully, as the episodes continue on, hopefully we'll see that upstage. Hopefully Rah Ali will invest her money and time into these girls and hire professional people to do their makeup and to do their hair, because last night I didn't see anything that looked professional or taste. It was very tasteless, very tasteless. Yandy's hair looked great. Riley's hair looked great. Amina's hair looked nice. Tara's, all those chicks that have been on the show, I don't know if it's because they've been on the show for a while, so they've got connected with people who are on the up and up. They looked it right. But these girls just coming out, I don't know what's going on, but come on, managers. Let's invest in these girls. They're representing you. You're representing them. Could you please put some money into these girls, please? And the light skinned girl, her hair was okay. I mean, she could have stepped it up too, but it doesn't even look like she has support. And her clothes was looking kind of cheap. I mean, it just like I said, the talent was off the charts. But please get these girls together. Because I mean, the talent and the appearance just, it didn't look right. It wasn't the same. Okay. Um. So what more do I have to say? I think that was about it. Hopefully I can come back with another chapter on this. I just wanted to quickly do like a test run. And just see how this broadcast goes. Mainly that this is what was really about. It's about doing the test run to see what this was about. So hopefully I can come back with more details. Anything else that I want to say? Oh yeah, as far as when Remy came, and she was sitting down with Pap, and he gave her the gift, and she pulled out one black baby girl doll, and then it's two black baby girl dolls. She put it on. That was cute. That was cute, I guess. I don't know how old they are, but it was cute, I guess. And then she read the card, and he said that he wants to have a baby, and she's like, wait a minute, I just got out. I'm gonna hit the scene. I get it. I really get it, and I understand where she's coming from. Because let's be fair. I mean, she was in. Pap was out that whole entire part of their marriage, the whole part of the 6 years that they were married. As far as I remember, when I was looking on Instagram and on Twitter and on YouTube and just reading up on social media, as far as I saw, Pap was still going to parties. Okay. I just saw a time when even Pat, he was walking out the club with chicks. I don't know if those were his like co-producers or managers, but I remember that. Okay. I remember seeing Pat with champagne bottles, with Ace champagne bottles. Maybe it wasn't Pat, maybe it was somebody else that I was looking at. But I remember that. I think he even went out of state, and he was traveling, doing something. So, when Remy is telling him, I'm out now, I want to enjoy myself, I don't need you on my back like a damn correction officer, I understand where she's coming from. Okay? Because during that time, Pat, from what I saw and from what I read and what I observed, yeah, he was probably going through trials and tribulations. Yes. He was hurt during the times of seasons and celebrations, and his wife wasn't around. So I understand that he was probably in pain. Nobody could ever understand what those two was going through. But let's keep it real now, Pat. She was in, you was out, and you was able to get around and enjoy life and travel and communicate with others and drink and sip on champagne and do different things that your wife wasn't able to do. So now that she's out, I understand that you want a family, especially with you being a family man, which I'll go into the dynamics of that later. Hopefully I'll be able to cover the astrology signs and also the life path numbers of many of these artists, which I'll go on with. I'll get into that down the line. I won't get into it right now. It's very deep. Okay. But from what I know, okay, as far as astrologically speaking, Pap is that dude. He is that family man, and he is a very dedicated person. So I understand that this is what he really wants. I mean, honestly speaking, this is not something that he's making it up. This is how he really, astrologically speaking, from what I've seen, he really does want that. He really does want the family. He really will be a dedicated person. Okay? Hands down to that. But at the same time, Pat, come on, let's be honest. Rem does need her space. Let her breathe a little bit before you try to get her pregnant. Because once, I don't. And again, I'm probably gonna have to continue on this broadcast, but understand that when a woman is pregnant in the very beginning of the stages of pregnancy, she could probably still get around and do a lot of the things that she could do before pregnancy. But once you start hitting that midpoint of pregnancy, especially towards the end of the pregnancy, a lot of the things that she was able to do before the pregnancy and even in the first trimester, even the second trimester, it kind of gets a little bit difficult as the trimesters increase. So she's just now coming out. She's working on her music. Business is hard, especially if you're a business person. It takes a lot of time. When you're involved in business, it never really ends. I mean, everything that you do is usually about business. So if she's going to be pregnant and having a baby, the things that she's able to do now, I'm not saying that she wouldn't be able to do it later, because as we've seen, many celebrities have been able to continue on with their endeavors after they had their children, but it will be a little bit more difficult. Okay? I don't know. It's a lot to say. And I thought that was pretty cute. I thought it was nice. I thought it was romantic. I thought it was sexy. And I really wish those two lots of luck and lots of blessings. But just hold on. Just hold. Just let her live for a little bit. Let her live for a little bit before. At least let her solidify some of these contracts and make sure that things are really, really solid, in my opinion, before you start introducing children, because things will change once that happens. Okay? You're no longer going to be able to just put on those red bottoms, okay? And low cleavage with breast hanging out with a baby on your hip. It's not going to be the same. Okay? So let's get that clear. As far as the wedding, okay, the venue, the place that they chose for the wedding, absolutely stunning, beautiful, absolutely Cinderella. Hopefully she'll have glass slippers if she gets married. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. But watch out for the haters. Gotta watch out for the haters, because, man, that was beautiful. Oh, man, it was so beautiful. And I hope everything works out. Everything should work out. But again, she does have to watch out for the haters, especially those who are close to her. And I'm sure she knows all of this. I don't have to say anything, because the problem that she went through before was because of a friend that was so-called close enough to her to do her wrong, to the point where she had to retaliate, to the point where there was punishment behind that. So I don't need to tell her anything, because I'm sure that she already knows this. But and again, I'm going really deep with this, but especially within the Black community, you don't really see commitment. You don't really see marriage. You don't really see, like, family orientated. You don't really see Black men being in that good light of loyalty. So to see somebody like her, who is beautiful and who has that, you know what that's going to come with. A lot of jealousy and a lot of haters. So again, you got to watch it. I think that's about it. I think that's all I have to say as far as the Love and Hip Hop. We'll see what's going to happen on the next episode. Looks like it's going to get hotter and hotter as we go on, as the seasons are changing. I know a lot of people in different places experiencing very cold weather, but it looks like these episodes are going to bring a little warmth within the homes and the houses and the apartments and the condos or wherever you're living, because it looks like the seasons are going to just be getting hotter and hotter. So I just want to say that last night it was very nice. It was exciting. Mona, it looks like you stepped up your game. Okay. Whoever's working behind the scenes with the production and the lights and the editing and all the high definition stuff stepped it up. Appreciate that. Um, so I just want to end it right here. Say that, this is the virtual review show. Again, this is my opinion. Just going over the review for Love and Hip Hop. Remy and Pat being the co-stars. Very happy to see Black love, Black hip hop love. So I'm gonna end it here. Hopefully, my next show, I'll be talking about Chirac. Okay, and Chirac, very disappointing. Very, very disappointing. Just tune into my next show so I can give you the breakdown on that. I mean, it's almost to a point where I should have just waited for the DVD to come out. That's all I had to say. But anyway, this is my review on Love and Hip Hop New York, and hopefully you'll be able to connect with me soon. All right, later.